Welcome back to Hey Kentucky. We are starting a new segment now. We're really getting into the meat of basketball season. Utah tonight, or this morning, whatever you want to, however you want to call it. Perrin is going to help us break down opponents as we go through this season and tell us what we need to be watching out for. Maybe a little insight into what Cal and Kenny Payne and John Robick are telling their players what to look out for when they're facing different opponents, right? So we're going to break down Utah for you. This is a pretty good team, Perrin, first of all.
No, I mean, yeah, they do a lot of things very well. They have two guys that shoot over 42% from three, which is an amazing stat line. They got one guy, he shoots 47% from three. So you can't give a guy like that the attempt. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen tonight if they can take away some things tonight.
All right, so let's start breaking this down. We're going to start with Timmy Allen. I want to say Tim Allen as if he's Buzz Lightyear, but he's not. This is their leading scorer, 6'6" forward. He averages a little over 20 points a game, 7 boards. This is the guy that Kentucky will have to key in on. Who's guarding Timmy Allen?
You know, that's a good question for me. And, you know, when you look at the lineup, basically he plays a lot of power forward for Utah. But the crazy thing about that is when you look at Kentucky's size, E.J. Montgomery's a big guy, and so is obviously Nick Richards. This guy's 6'6".
Yeah.
And he averages 20 points a game. And out of his 140 attempts, 130 of them are inside the three-point line, which means he's going to the basket. So this is a good game for either Khalil Whitney or Keon Brooks to step up from a defensive standpoint. I think they can really do a good job with that.
I was going to say Keon Brooks, who has stepped up defensively. Coach Cal has called out Khalil Whitney this week, saying, we need more from you. So this might be a good challenge for Khalil, too.
No, absolutely. I mean, 60% of this guy's field goal attempts that he's made are inside the paint. So he's not looking to shoot. He's only taken 10 threes on the year, and he's only made 1.
Okay, let's move on to both Gak. Am I saying that right?
Yes, you are. Both
okay.
Gak.
Another 6'6" player. This is a guard.
Yes.
He averages 11 points a game, 3 rebounds, almost 4 assists. So this is probably who I'm guessing will be Ashton's matchup.
You know, he might have to guard him a little bit, but he's not really anything in particular. He's a glue guy.
Okay.
He can score it, he can shoot it, but he's not a great shooter. But he scores a ton of his baskets going to the basket. So when you think of him right now, you got to think of him guy, well, he's capable of being a shooter, but he's not going to beat you on jump shots. But you don't want to give him an open look. So look at him attacking the rim, not only for creating for himself, but creating for others as well.
Okay.
So he does a good job of that.
Moving on to the other guard, Rylan Jones. He's 6 foot, so this is probably Tyrese Emmanuel Quickly kind of a matchup, I would guess.
It's 100% that. And this is the young man we were talking about. When you look at his shots per average, he shoots 47% from the three-point line.
That's crazy.
That's ungodly.
Yeah.
That is like Steph Curry shoots 45% in the NBA. So for him to shoot 47 is saying a lot. And he's a true freshman. He does a ton of his stuff in the pick and roll. He has a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio, which is what the NBA typically wants their point guards to have on average. And a lot of it is a lot of pick and roll and him catching and shooting. But this young man, he shoots the ball at a tremendous clip. Doesn't score it a ton for them, but he is capable of getting hot, especially from the three-point line.
And that's something that Kentucky has often struggled with, is those guys that are really good three-point shooters, that we kind of leave them alone every once in a while and they can get hot.
No, absolutely. You know, he's like Cassius Winston, but a better jump shooter and take a little bit of passing ability away. Even though he's played against some good competition, he hasn't faced guards like Kentucky. And when Ashton Hagans is a great defender, Emmanuel Quickly is a good defender as well, I think those guys can contain him off the pick and roll a great deal.
All right, let's move on to the bigger guys. We've got Riley Batten. He's 6'9". He's all in the paint, too.
Yes.
He's all inside.
Yeah, he is all inside as well. But another thing about Riley is Riley shoots 40% from 3. So when you look at his 3-point attempt, they primarily come from the top or the right wing. So that tells you 2 things. 1, the point guard likes to go around the right side off to his right hand to score. And 2, he likes to pick and pop. And he only scores in 2 places, on the right wing and around the basket. So you can count on him not doing a great deal of going to the hole.
He might be like their Nate Sestina guy if we could have Nate Sestina play.
100%. 100%.
All right, let's go with that. Finally, the big guy in the middle, 7-foot center Brandon Carlson. He's shooting 58% from the field. That's not bad.
No, not at all. I mean, that tells you one thing and one thing only. A lot of his shots are right at the rim.
Yeah.
Anytime a guy's shooting 57%. The one thing I will say about him, he's attempted 3 three-pointers all year and he's made none of them. So I wouldn't worry about him beating you from the three-point line. But the main thing is, if Nick Richards does not bury this young man under the basket, we have bigger problems. He is 214 pounds. If Nick Richards does not have a double-double tonight, we have to go back to the drawing board.
Nick Richards should be able to blow just like a heavy breath and knock him over.
100%. I mean, all he wants to do is pick, and then he wants to run to the rim. So You got to take advantage on the defensive side of this game and then basically take him away. He's not going to be an outside threat. He just wants to run up and down the court and set pick and rolls and block shots.
All right, so Kentucky's got Ohio State up next, Utah tonight. So this trip to Vegas is going to tell us, I think, a lot about this team. Thanks for breaking it down.
No, thank you.
Now we know what to look for tonight against Utah. More Hey Kentucky right after this.